What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Crypto Sherpa channel, where I cover the most recent news articles and keep you informed on what's just going on in the crypto space. Now, sorry for not being here yesterday. I just got so busy here at the Crypto Club. We had at least 6 different separate consultations, only 2 of them being appointments. So when we got those walk-ins, sometimes my schedule just go way out of whack. So I'm sorry not being here today to provide you with the news on what was going on, but not that much was actually happening. So I just looped it in for today's video. But we have a lot of Tether stablecoin news going on with them adding more money or adding more to the Tron network, surpassing Ethereum. So I don't know, is Tron going to be the new stablecoin blockchain of choice to use? We got Tether buying at least $500 million with Jack Mallers to their 21, what is that, 21 shares? What is that company they got? The 21 Capital. So that business. So that is truly a competition with Sailor. But we got a bunch of that news. I think Lyft is in there, as well as some Coinbase. I guess they were being threatened with leaked information. So maybe that's why we're seeing a sea of red right now. If you look at crypto bubbles, it's what's going on today? The last 2 days, we were just in nothing but the green, but we had a subtle dip. Looks like Pi Network had the worst dip of it all, 19.9%. No, I'm not a really big fan of the Pi coin out there. Why? I don't know. I didn't like it. I think it was mainly it was promoted a lot by BitBoy Crypto, Brian Armstrong? No, that's Coinbase. Ben Armstrong. Yeah, that was another Ben out there. But no, I can't remember. He talked about it a lot, and I was like, I don't really care for it. And there's just been so many people mining that token out there, on their phone. So, if it ever, I think it did hit a couple exchanges. Maybe it didn't. I'm not sure if it passed that one. I know I covered an article on it. But I think there's too many people who would hold on to it. I just don't think the value will be there. But they were promised, it'll be on this marketplace. You can use this coin to buy that. But I just didn't see that going. That's just my own opinion on that, though. But yeah, so we're going to see a red with all these coins out there, but it's okay. These tiny little correction dips are fine. In the market, people are still greedy in the territory. We're still in almost an altcoin season, and so just a little heads up on what's going on pricing wise with all the coins out there. I really don't know what's going on with the news I got. It's this shouldn't really affect it. So something's going on in the background on the technical analysis side. But let's start off with the news. Where are we going to go off first? Let's start off with how My First Bitcoin receives $1 million grant from Jack Dorsey to expand its global Bitcoin education. So My First Bitcoin is really known as Mi Premier Bitcoin because it came out of El Salvador, but it secured a $1 million grant from Jack Dorsey's Start Small to grow its global grassroots Bitcoin education network, staying true to its mission to open source Bitcoin education for the world. So let's learn a little bit about this. So My First Bitcoin is a nonprofit focused on grassroots Bitcoin education, and it just announced that they are receiving a $1 million grant from Start Small. This funding will help scale efforts to provide free, open source Bitcoin education for the world. And here is that tweet from My Premier Bitcoin. My First Bitcoin received the $1 million grant from Start Small, and it's to advance its independent Bitcoin education around the world. And this was on May 13th. We are proud to announce that My First Bitcoin has received the $1 million grant from Jack Dorsey. Now, the revolution of Bitcoin education is that it teaches students how to think, not what to think. And that was said by the founder and executive director of My First Bitcoin, John Dennehy. Now, funding from the sources with their own incentives is the greatest vulnerability that threatens that, and education will be captured by whoever funds it. Now, we will never take any government money and frequently turn down funding from corporations and companies. The subtle influence of funding has ruined fiat education, and we need to create an alternative model for the revolution of Bitcoin education to realize its full potential, is what they said. Now, this grant gives My First Bitcoin the ability to expand its reach and improve tools like the Bitcoin Diploma, intro course, and teaching trainer workshops. It also strengthens their online school and community hub, making Bitcoin education more accessible to people everywhere. Now, this funding is not just a milestone, it's a statement. As Dennehy added, that My First Bitcoin is a proof of concept for all independent Bitcoin educators, and that if you stay on mission, even when it's challenging, then you will come out on the other side even stronger. Now, My First Bitcoin started in 2021 as a small local project, and since then, it's grown into a global movement. And over the years, the team has taught tens of thousands of students in person, testing and refining materials based on real-world feedback. In 2022, My First Bitcoin was awarded a Bitcoin diplomas to 38 high school students in El Salvador. As part of the program, the students had 10 lessons, which included the introduction to monetary systems, the consequences of fiat, monetary history, understanding Bitcoin, wallets in the Bitcoin network, the double spend problem, and nodes, as well as security, mining, the value of Bitcoin, the Lightning Network, and Bitcoin's future in the final project. So this is a straight up legit educational system because, again, they don't teach you about the financial system at all in your normal everyday school. So that's the biggest misconception. In school systems, they just teach you, okay, follow the rules, learn what we tell you to read, study it, memorize it, basically not really learning it. And yeah, you'll be fine after that is what they all think. So they want to keep you in a state of basically slavery, impoverished. Like they don't want you to understand the financial system, gain a little advantage from it, and actually be successful for yourself. So this is a great education. And we do have like the Me Premier Bitcoin here at the Crypto Club. So yeah, if you want to learn about these like classes that they have, come to the club. We'll set you up with a tablet or a laptop that you just start your education process with the My First Premier Bitcoin or My Premier Bitcoin. I keep combining the Spanish and English version of it. But let's continue on with a little bit more info about the Me Premier Bitcoin program. So in 2023, the organization launched an independent Bitcoin educators node network, now with over 65 projects across more than 35 countries. And these include circular economies, meetup groups, and other local Bitcoin projects. Now, what unites them is their shared commitment to 6 core values: that their education is independent, it's impartial, it's community-led, Bitcoin only, and the quality and focus on empowerment over profit. Now, open source money deserves open source education. Over the past few years, we've seen growing demand for our resources around the world, and we remain committed to serving everyone in the Bitcoin space who needs support, said the director of communications at My First Bitcoin, Arnold Huback. Now here's John Dennehy's tweet about how this is so epic. I'm so proud of this team and so honored to be a part of this movement. This is going to accelerate independent Bitcoin education everywhere. And yep, just again, showcasing about this $1 million grant they got. So it's just going to help them out, spread even more adoption. And yeah, so guys, if you want to learn more, check out the My First Bitcoin Premiere or even attend some of our classes we have here at the Bitcoin Bank Crypto Club. It's every Tuesday and Thursday. Also, members can get a free hour consultation with me here. Just book an appointment. We can sit down with you one-on-one, get you set up with a wallet, exchange, and just show you the importance of why you need to be in this crypto space. So yeah, so that's our first article we got for you. And now let's move on to the next one. Not on stablecoins yet, but Nebraska lawmakers approve crypto mining limits in the final reading. So this is going to be a bill that's going to be pushed forward in Nebraska, and let's hear a little bit more about it. So if signed by the governor, Nebraska's bill would take effect this October, regulating crypto miners using over 1 megawatt of electricity. So crypto miners in Nebraska may soon face new regulations after state lawmakers unanimously passed a bill designed to hold large-scale operations accountable for their impact on states' energy infrastructure. Now, LB 526, which cleared its final readings on Tuesday with a 49-0 vote, which is crazy, so everyone wanted to go through it. It now heads to Governor Jim Pillen's desk for approval. Now, if enacted, the law would take effect on October 1st of this year. Now, this was first introduced by State Senate Mike Jacobson in January, and the legislation targets facilities that consume 1 megawatt or more of electricity. Now, that threshold seeks to capture all primary commercial mining operations rather than the small-scale hobbyists. Now, if signed into law, the bill would require those miners to pay for the infrastructure upgrades that their operations require. They must report their annual energy usage publicly and agree to have their electricity service interrupted during periods of grid strain. Now, the proposal law grants public power suppliers, including municipal utilities and public power districts, the authority to conduct load studies before imposing these requirements, and suppliers must ensure that the measures are fair and non-discriminatory. But those languages gives them broad discretion to manage the growing energy demands associated with crypto mining. Now, how are they going to split on the crypto mining? Well, LB's 526's advancements comes as states across the U.S. take divergent approaches to crypto mining regulation. President Donald Trump, during his 2024 campaign, advocated for the remainder of Bitcoin's fixed supply to be mined within U.S. borders, calling it a key to achieving energy dominance and protecting against the rise of central bank digital currencies. Now, just last month, Arizona enacted the HB 2342, which shields at-home miners and blockchain node operators from local zoning restrictions, declaring such activities a matter of statewide concern. Meanwhile, Kentucky signed a law in March that formally protects users who self-custody crypto and confirms that mining and staking are not considered securities. Now, the next steps in Nebraska's legislation process is its executive review, and the governor has 5 legislative days, excluding Sunday, to sign or veto the bill. If he takes no action, the bill will automatically become law without his signature, and as of now, the governor's office has not commented on LB 526, and it did not immediately respond to Decrypt's request for response. So he's got 5 days to make that decision. If not, it just goes through. So fingers crossed that happens. But hey, if he signs it, that's bonus points for him, and the crypto community will love it for that. But no, this is awesome news. Like, just bills and laws being changed to just favor crypto in the United States, because this has never happened. And if we never had these bills and laws introduced, then the powers that govern us can do whatever they want. It's like, oh, there's nothing saying we can't do this to you, to take your miners and say, no, you can't mine there. It's like, so having these rules in place is definitely great for the adoption of crypto and blockchain out there. So cool. So I'll keep you informed on if this bill passes or not. We'll find out in a couple days. So that was that news article. Now let's move on to our stablecoin news. What's going on in the space? Well, Tether buys 459 million Bitcoin for 21 capital. So yeah, Michael Saylor's company Strategy now actually has a true competitor that they're going to be competing with acquiring Bitcoin. So which one's going to acquire 1 million Bitcoin first? I don't know. Probably Michael Saylor's company Strategy will do that because they got such a head start, but you never know. We got Jack Mallers' company, Tether, I think even Fidelity. There was like one other, or was it something Fitzgerald, like a part of this 21 capital. So this is going to be a very fun match to see. And guys, again, this just shows how scarce Bitcoin is still getting. This is a competition between 2 big companies acquiring Bitcoin. That's their core purpose. So we got these 2 guys, we got all the smaller companies, we got the states and soon reserve, and also governments, countries getting involved. So guys, get your Bitcoin while you still can. But let's learn about this buy purchase from 21 Capital. So Tether added another 4,812 Bitcoin to 21 Capital's Bitcoin holdings, currently trading under Cantor Equity Partners until the firm finalizes a merger. So stablecoin issuer Tether bought $458.7 million worth of Bitcoin for 21 Capital, a Bitcoin investment firm. It backed that it's waiting for completion of the special purpose acquisition company and the merger with Cantor Equity Partner. Now, Tether snapped up another 4,812 Bitcoin at the price of $95,319, which isn't bad. Nice price since its current price is at 103, so they got that nice little dip. Now, it transferred it to an escrow wallet on May 9th, and Cantor Equity Partners disclosed in a May 13th filing with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Now, this brings 21's total Bitcoin holdings to 36,312 Bitcoin, as Cantor Equity Partner holds 31,500 Bitcoin on behalf of the firm, which will trade under the ticker XXI once the SPAC merger is completed. Now, 21 CEO Jack Mallers said on May 13th that they are already in the approval process of the merger, but didn't give an exact estimate on when the transactions will be completed. Now, 21 is already the 3rd largest corporate Bitcoin holder, trailing only behind Strategy and the Bitcoin mining firm Mara Holdings at 568,840 Bitcoin and 48,237 Bitcoin, respectively, between those 2 companies. Now, that is a big difference. Strategy holds 568,000. The mining firm that actually mines Bitcoin holds 48. And now 21 has 36,000 in there. And they're probably going to catch up to Strategy pretty fast, I think so. But Tether is a majority stakeholder in 21, alongside crypto exchange Bitfinex. The Wall Street heavy Cantor Fitzgerald is sponsoring the merger, providing financial advisory services and securing a $585 million funding support to 21's Bitcoin investment. Now, Japanese investment holdings SoftBank also invested $900 million into 21, which is led by Strike CEO Jack Mallers. Now, Strategy may have a legitimate competitor, like I said in the beginning. So 21 said in an April presentation that the SEC that is looking to supplement Michael Saylor's Strategy, formerly MicroStrategy, to become the supplier or the superior vehicle for investors seeking capital-efficient Bitcoin exposure. Now, the company is among many Bitcoin buying firms, but promises to be a pure play for investors seeking Bitcoin exposure with Bitcoin native operations and more flexibility for strategic capital raises. Now, here's a 21 compares favorable to master across its metrics. So a pure play in the Bitcoin exposure strategy has at least a 3/4 of a pie, 21 full pie. Bitcoin native operations is a 0 in strategy, but 21 full pie. So basically 21 has a full pie in all of these, but as you can see here with strategy, like it's only partial or like at least halfway or none with a debt collateralization, inside ownership, and purpose. So that's kind of the difference going on. But 21 said its key success metric will be Bitcoin per share and not the traditional earning per share metric, as it will prioritize buying up Bitcoin over making profit. Now, 21 is aiming to reach 42,000 Bitcoin by the time it launches, and earlier filings showed that 23,950 Bitcoin is expected to come from Tether, 10,500 Bitcoin is going to come from SoftBank, and about 7,000 Bitcoin is going to be coming from Bitfinex, will be converted into equity at $10 per share. Now, Cantor Equity Partners share price soared from $10.65 to $59.73 on May 2nd, but has since fallen back to $29.84, according to Google Finance data. And the CEP rose another 5.2% in the after hours following its recent purchases. So its stock price is definitely going to be mirroring or matching like their Bitcoin purchases like we saw with Strategy, and now we're even seeing Metaplanet and like how their stocks are going rise since they adopted the Strategy plan of just like holding Bitcoin in a treasury, keep acquiring it, using debt to buy more. So any company that has like an actual stock and they're actually acquiring Bitcoin for a reserve and holdings, it's already being proven that it works and they're just totally benefiting it. Sure, we saw the rise with the Cantor, went up to $50 from $10. Now it's back down to 30. That's still 3x from where it was originally. So it's just proven that if your company holds Bitcoin, you're going to do a lot better. So that's our first news about Tether buying Bitcoin for 21 Capital. Now let's move on to how $78 million was lost in a laundering loophole in the Tether freezing method since 2017. So yeah, if you didn't know it, Tether can freeze your coins. It's a very centralized entity out there, but it looks like there's been a loophole and some scammers out there who've stolen some crypto were able to move off some Tether before their accounts were fully frozen. So let's go through this article to learn a little bit more about it. So an AML bot report claims that Tether's multi-signature setup for freezing funds creates a critical window for illicit actors to exploit. So there is a significant lag between exchanges saying they're going to freeze USDT held by malicious addresses and, well, actually doing it, according to a news report from AML bot. AML bot reportedly found that the on-chain freeze enforcement of Tether's USDT stablecoin has been sluggish. As a result, the anti-money laundering firm said at least $78 million has been lost to bad actors on Ethereum and Tron since 2017. Now, the laundering loophole is a result of Tether's multi-signature contract set up, and AML bot explained in a report that first, a freeze request is sent on-chain, which requires multiple signatures to approve before the freeze can be executed. And as a result, a window of opportunity is created, allowing illicit actors to move funds before their address is frozen. Now, one example provided in the report showcases a 44-minute delay between the freeze request and the confirmation on Tron. The AML bot claims that $49.6 million has been withdrawn by bad actors on the Tron network since 2017, and as a result of the vulnerability, wallets were able to make up to 3 transactions during the delay window, with 4.88% of the blacklisted wallets exploiting the lag on the network. Meanwhile, on Ethereum, the firm found 28.5 million USDT withdrawn within the same timeframe, totaling 78.1 million across the two chains. Security firm PeckShield reviewed the report and confirmed that the loophole does exist. Now, they said it does not necessarily indicate a problem with the contract itself, but rather it's an operational issue that creates a time window between the blacklist transaction to be submitted and when it is executed, said PeckShield spokesperson. Now, given the security sensitivity nature of this issue, improvements are definitely necessary. Tether is the issuer of the largest stablecoin in crypto, USDT, which aims to peg its price to the US dollar, and the company blacklists addresses from trading their products if they're connected to illegal activity, such as wallets linked to the $1.4 billion Bybit hack earlier this year. And by being blacklisted means that addresses can no longer move Tether issued assets, effectively making the tokens worthless. So it's just sitting there in your wallet. If they blacklist your wallet, it's like you see it, it's like, oh, why can't I get my coins? Like, you can't touch it anymore. It's blacklisted. So, however, AML bots believe malicious actors know of the aforementioned lag and are creating tools to exploit it. Tools can be programmed to monitor the blockchain for specific contract interactions, such as submit transaction calls, link to freeze requests. Slava Demchuk, CEO of AML Bot, told Decrypt that the bots can alert wallet owners the moment a freeze is initiated, but before it's enforced, given the delay introduced by Tether's multi-signature process, this provides a narrow but critical window for illicit actors to quickly move into. Now, they said, while we haven't directly observed the bots themselves, the on-chain behavior strongly suggests an automation is in play, he added. PeckShield warned that the lag is inherent to how multi-sig accounts are designed to function. Simply, it takes time to have multiple people sign a transaction despite it being required in some cases to boost security. And the firm suggested that Tether could bundle together the freeze request with the signatures into one transaction to eliminate the window. Now, Tether did not respond to Decrypt's request for the comment in the time of publication, but this article will be updated once they hear back. So I guess I gotta go back to these articles when they say they will update them. I always think they just make a brand new one, but no. So yeah, that's a big troublesome loophole right there. Like, so they're going to freeze an account. The bad actor is going to get notified, and that's giving them that slim window, whether it be on Tron Network or Ethereum, to potentially do 3 transactions to still move it off before those tokens become worthless. So hopefully they do fix that problem, and maybe you can make it a little bit more faster to do so. But again, guys, if you didn't know that coins can be frozen, if it's a centralized token, it can totally do it. Like, but Bitcoin, yeah, I don't think so. It's decentralized, maybe until an exchange to say, oh, whatever Bitcoin's in there, but then now the exchange has it. So yeah, but no, that's what's going on with Tether and its freezing method right now. Just be aware of that, and don't use this to your advantage. If you're about to have your wallet blacklisted, it's like, oh, I can do 3 transactions. So don't take that to your advantage. They may fix this loophole later on, but I'll keep you informed more on it. Now, let's take a quick commercial break, and then we'll continue on with our stablecoin news. So be right back, guys.
Attention visionaries and pioneers, the future of wealth is here, and it's spelled Bitcoin, Introducing the exclusive Loans for Bitcoin program at the Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club, where your good credit unlocks 0% interest loans for up to 2 years, or term loans up to $250,000 spread over 7 to 12 years. Why wait? Use this capital to acquire the world's fastest appreciating asset, Bitcoin. With prices hovering around $94,000 and projections aiming much higher by the year's end, the time to act is now. Leverage isn't just for Wall Street anymore. Arbitrage the low cost of your loan against Bitcoin's explosive growth. It's smart finance for the modern investor. And privacy matters. Our no KYC Bitcoin purchase program ensures you buy and self-custody your assets in your own wallet. Your keys, your Bitcoin, your future. And as the world shifts to digital currencies, be ahead of the curve. Front-run corporations, governments, in this greatest financial revolution of our times. I'm Jay Bose, CEO of Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club. Call or text us today at 941-413-6920 and get started on that loan application. Secure your legacy. You will thank yourself tomorrow.
And we are back. All right, let's continue on. We're talking about some stablecoin news. Tether, it wasn't really a stablecoin news, but it was Tether being a part of 21 Capital, adding 500 million basically to their balance sheets in Bitcoin. We talked about Tether's wandering loophole problem, where there's a little brief gap in freezing accounts when they want to do that. And now let's move on to what's going on with Tron, because it looks like USD on Tron just surpassed Ethereum for the first time ever. So there has been more USDT stablecoins minted on Tron's network than Ethereum now. So this is a crazy moment. So let's learn about this and see what's up. So Ethereum's gas fees and scalability issue are pushing users to Tron's faster, cheaper ecosystem for high volume stablecoin transfers. Now, the Tron network has overtaken Ethereum and Tether stablecoin supply for the first time in crypto history. According to data from CryptoQuant, the sterling supply of USDT on Tron's TRC20 network surged to $73.8 billion, edging past Ethereum's $71.9 billion, showcasing the growing preference for Tron for high-volume stablecoin transactions, especially in emerging markets. Now, why is Tron winning the stablecoin race? CQ Analysis J.A. Martin attributed Tron's rise to lower transaction fees, faster block times, and consequently reliable network. Now, they noted that the crossover was the accumulation of steady growth since mid-2023, where at least $1 billion in new USDT was minted regularly, with more than $14 billion issued in the first 5 months of 2025 alone. Now, meanwhile, Ethereum supply has plateaued due to high gas fees and users migrating to Layer 2 solutions. Now, Tron Network's architecture also deserves credit for the ecosystem stablecoin growth, and CryptoQuant recently highlighted that blockchain's 99.7% block protection efficiency is a testament to the stability of its super representative system. Now, according to Analytics platform, as of 2025, 30 SRs are consistently active, with 24 of them producing 3.71% of the total blocks, a contrast to Tron's more volatile early years. Furthermore, the network dominance in stablecoin transfers is highlighted by the decline of rivals such as USDC and TUSD data from DeFi Llama, and that shows the Tether's dominance of the stablecoin space at 62.05%, with a circulating supply of more than $150 billion. Now, such currencies have also surpassed traditional payment giants in transaction volumes. Data from Artemis shows that average stablecoins processed $521.3 billion weekly in 2025, and these dwarf Visa's figures of $319 billion and PayPal's $32 billion. Now, are we shifting user base right now? NovaKey Research has described the pivot to Tron as more than just a technical migration. It is a reflection of broader global adoption trends. And according to them, USDT activity has shifted from retail holders to mid-sized wallets holding between $10,000 and $1 million in the last few years. Now, this suggests that there has been an increased participation from OTC desks, cross-border remittance platforms, and payment aggregators. Meanwhile, despite Tron's network growth, its native TRX token has mostly stagnated and traded around 26 cents level as of the writing, and has dipped slightly by 2% in the last 24 hours, but gained 7.8% across the week and then 6.7% in the previous month. So it's just been stagnant for Tron's token. Nonetheless, considering its peak above 43 cents late last year to register a new all-time high, its current price represents a 38% drop from those raffled heights. So Tron's still doing better. I always forget, what was Tron's history back in the day? It was, I always listen to Modern Investor every morning, and this is kind of my early days of reading the news, learning about it, and what did he say about I don't think this is facts or anything, so definitely do your research on it. But I thought the Weather Channel was using Tron's network in order to make it look like Tron was having a lot of transactions take place. But again, don't quote me on that history. Look it up. Let me know if that was actually accurate or not. So I was always skeptical about it. But Tron is actually making some big moves now, with just at least its network being utilized. And I think they're also increasing their DeFi security platform now with a Chainlink upgrade. So yes, that is going to be our next article. So let's talk about Tron now. Since we covered the Tether news, that was at least 4 articles for you. Now let's cover Tron and how they're leveling up their security. So it kind of makes sense for Tether to be minting more coins on there. So here we go. So Tron levels up its DeFi security with a $5.5 billion Chainlink upgrade. So with Chainlink now being the official oracle throughout Tron's DeFi universe, the network is becoming more robust, transparent, and future-proof. So Tron DAO has officially adopted Chainlink's data feeds as its primary oracle solution, replacing the previously WinkLink alternative. It aims to enhance, stabilize, and position Tron DeFi ecosystems for future expansion. Now, the move occurred after Tron joined Chainlink Scale in October 2024, which sought to accelerate Tron's growth by supplying developers with high-quality data. With this upgrade, over $5.5 billion in DeFi apps on Tron, including JustLend, JustStable, and USDT, are now powered by Chainlink's trusted data feeds. Now, H.E. Justin Sun, founder of Tron, celebrated the news on X and said Chainlink on Tron is now live. Now, due to this integration, developers on Tron are now able to create smarter, safer, and more scalable financial applications with verifiable real-world data. Now, with Chainlink now being the official oracle throughout Tron's DeFi universe, the network is becoming more robust, transparent, and future-proof. Now, Theodoros Karakostas, head of blockchain partnerships at Chainlink, said that Tron's choice to adopt Chainlink's data feeds is the biggest milestone. He pointed out that over $5.5 billion in DeFi's total value locked on Tron is now secured by Chainlink, showing Tron DAO's strong push towards solid and scalable infrastructure. Now, this upgrade also means WinkLink, Tron's earlier Oracle provider, will no longer be used, and the change reflects Tron's drive to stay ahead with better, more reliable data and tools. Meanwhile, the Tron network continues to develop. According to TronScan statistics, Tron has reached over 306 million accounts, conducted over 10 billion transactions, and is worth more than $23 billion as of May 2025. Now, with Chainlink now powering Tron's DeFi data, the decentralized financial ecosystem is poised for even more trust, innovation, and long-term growth in the future. So also read Tron as trusted chain for moving. Tron is getting a little bit more trusted. So so they're now seeing some fruition from this partnership that happened last October. So their last Oracle that they're not using anymore, and Chainlink is in it. So this is a good help for you guys for those of you that hold Chainlink. Bullish news. We're going on to there, and we got Tether being a part of it as well. So Tron and Chainlink, both bullish news for them. And so when altcoin season hits, I like seeing this stuff. All right, so that is our stablecoin news. Now, our stablecoin? Nah, that's our Tron and Chainlink news. Where am I at? Where am I at today? All right, let's continue on with some more news. I have about 3 more articles to cover. This next one is going to talk about Lyft, the driving platform, the ride-sharing device. The ride-sharing guys, Lyft, not Uber, but Lyft, the pink mustache guys. Looks like they're tapping into Solana-powered B maps for decentralized mapping data. So, let's learn about this. So, the rideshare firm began source mapping data from a Hive mapper powered by the platform last year, and Decrypt has learned about it. So, here we go. So, Lyft has partnered with B Maps, a decentralized mapping platform built on Hive Mapper's infrastructure to support its internal mapping efforts. The company has confirmed to Decrypt that the rideshare firm began working with B Maps in 2024 and is using the platform's street-level mapping data to help improve routing and navigation as it expands its autonomous vehicle strategy. B Maps publicly announced the relationship in a blog post on Wednesday describing Lyft as a customer of its crypto incentive mapping network. The consumer-facing mapping product is built on top of Hive Mapper, a decentralized crypto incentive map-building network that runs on Solana. The platform relies on a global network of contributors who upload street imagery via AI-powered dashcams, rewarding them with the native token, Honey Token. So they're earning by doing this. Now, Lyft recognizes that old-school mapping couldn't keep up with the real world. Era Seidman, the co-founder and CEO of B Maps, said in a post that for mobility to work, for an autonomy to become reality, maps can't be an afterthought. They need to be crowdsourced, live, accurate, and open. Now, while B Maps has promoted the use of crowdsourced data from drivers, Decrypt understands that Lyft's partnership is limited to licensing mapping data and does not involve Lyft drivers or their vehicles contributing to the platform. Lyft has previously invested in open source mapping through contributions to OpenStreetMap and B Maps partnership, and it points to its continued push towards a more flexible and real-time mapping system independent of legacy providers. Lyft is partnered with Solana, or is using Solana by having this partnership with B Maps. So that's actually pretty cool. Why did I go back to myself? So this was a pretty cool article that they, for those drivers out there, they don't need any data, they don't need their car, they just got to utilize it, and it's going to be mapping, giving live feeds, and make it more accurate for when the eventual autonomous vehicle for driving comes in. It knows exactly what to do because it's getting live feed data from B Maps. So that's actually pretty cool. So I'd share that with you. Now let's move on to this article covering how senators urged Treasury to rethink its tax on unrealized crypto gains. So yeah, this was brought up a couple of days ago, or was it yesterday? No, this article was actually yesterday. And yeah, the senators said that the tax rule would leave U.S. firms at a disadvantage to foreign competitors and urged treasuries to act swiftly. So let's see what's going to go down with this. And I believe this was Senator Cynthia Lummis, who was talking about it. So, pro-crypto lawmakers have demanded immediate action to stop a Biden-era tax policy that is putting U.S. crypto firms at risk of paying millions in taxes on profits that they haven't even realized. In a joint letter sent on Tuesday to Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, Senator Cynthia Lummis and Bernie Moreno called for a re-examination of how the 2022 corporate alternative minimum tax applies to digital asset holdings. Now, the two lawmakers warned that recent convergence of tax law and updated accounting rules undermines fairness and distorts markets and penalizes U.S. companies for adopting innovative financial strategies. Now, our edge in the digital finance is at risk if U.S. companies are taxed more than foreign companies, said Lummis, while sharing the letter on X. The CAMT enacted under the Inflation Reduction Act applies a 15% minimum tax on a company's adjusted financial statement income, and for the firms averaging $1 billion or more in annual earnings, Now, that income is based on financial statements prepared using generally accepted accounting principles rather than traditional tax rules, and the approach was intended to close loopholes exploited by highly profitable corporations that paid little or no federal tax. But in December 2023, the Financial Accounting Standards Board issued ASU 2023-08, which is a rule requiring companies to value digital assets using fair value market-to-market accounting. Now, this change, initially celebrated as a win for transparency and crypto adoption, now means the unrealized crypto gains are counted toward taxable income under the CAMT. Now, neither Congress nor FASB planned this outcome, and the senator wrote that it's unintended result of basing tax liability of decisions by privatization, not principles of taxation. The senators urged Treasury to exclude unrealized crypto gains from tax calculations, either across the board or specifically those triggered by new accounting rules, requiring companies to report the market value of digital assets that they haven't sold. Now, will this require forced liquidations? Lummis and Moreno warned that the current policy may force firms to liquidate their crypto assets just to meet the tax obligations, and foreign firms, which follow different accounting standards, are unaffected, raising concerns over a widening competitive gap. Now, we respectfully urge Treasury to act swiftly, and the senators wrote, failure to provide this clarity will desensitize entities from maintaining large holdings of digital assets. Now, the senators have also called on the Treasury to issue interim guidance before finalizing the rule, saying that the prompt action would prevent a misguided tax policy from taking hold. Lummis and Moreno said that they were ready to work with the Treasury officials directly on this issue, and the senators' warning follows a series of decisive moves in Washington under President Donald Trump to unwind Biden-era crypto regulations and reposition the U.S. as a hub for digital asset innovation. Now, in March, the Senate passed a resolution to overturn the IRS's DeFi broker rule, which have forced decentralized financial protocols to report users' activity like traditional financial intermediaries. Now, that was a very stupid law because it's going after the DeFi platforms. It's like they don't have anybody's information. It's like, what, you want this wallet did that. You don't know who owns that wallet. So it's like, how are they going to control that or give up information if you don't know who the people are? That's a beauty of crypto in the blockchain space. It can be totally anonymous. It's just like all you see in transactions and history is just the wallet address, who you sent it to, and then the amount you send with the gas fee. Like, that's it. That's all the information that you can get from it. So who are they going to go after? It's like no, let's just point that person. It's like, is that their wallet? Well, we don't know. So that was a dumb rule that was implemented, but luckily it was overturned. But that rule was finalized during President Biden's final weeks of office and was heavily criticized by the industry's groups for being unworkable and invasive. So yeah, nobody really liked it when it happened. Now, in April, President Trump signed the resolution into law, making the first crypto-related legislation enacted by any U.S. president. Meanwhile, Senator Lummis has emerged as a key legislative figure in the crypto space. She has backed crypto through earlier bipartisan efforts, including the 2022 Loomis-Gillibrand Responsible Financial Innovation Act, which proposed a full regulatory framework for digital assets. And though that bill stalled, it laid the groundwork for much of today's congressional momentum around crypto legislation. In March, she reintroduced the Bitcoin Act, which would codify President Trump's executive order establishing a national Bitcoin reserve and authorize the Treasury to purchase up 1 million Bitcoin over the next 5 years. So, yeah, everyone's still reading for them. Like I was saying, like, who's going to get to 1 million first? Is it the United States going to get to 1 million? Is it Strategy going to get to it? Or now 21 Capital? Like, there's a lot of big players, and also the other countries and governments out there. I think China still holds at least like 200,000 Bitcoin. Like, them and the United States were the top holders. And then you have all the other countries as well. So again, there's not that much Bitcoin going around. Everyone wants to shoot for 1 million, and not everybody is going to get 1 million. So just keep stacking those sats while you can and hodl it. So that's our senator urging the Treasury just to rethink that tax policy news. And let's move on to our final article on how Coinbase faces a $400 million bill after insider phishing attacks. So yeah, Coinbase just rejected a $20 million ransom demand after insiders leaked user data in a phishing scheme. The exchange expects up to $400 million in reimbursements and remediation costs. So that sucks for Coinbase. But Coinbase, the world's third largest cryptocurrency exchange, was hit by a $20 million extortion attempt after cyber criminals recruited overseas support agents to leak user data. And the company said that according to a May 15th blog post, Coinbase said a group of external actors bribed and coordinated with several customer support contractors to access internal systems and steal limited user account data. Now, these insiders abuse their access to customer support systems to steal the account data for a small subset of customers out there. And Coinbase said that, adding that no passwords, private keys, funds, or Coinbase Prime accounts were affected. Now, less than 1% of Coinbase's monthly transactions user data was affected by the attack, and the company said that the cyber criminal bribed and recruited rogue overseas support agents to pull personal data on less than 1% of Coinbase's MTUs. Now, no passwords, private keys, or funds were exposed, but Prime accounts are untouched. So we will reimburse impacted customers. More details here on the coinbase.com/blog/protection and standing up against extortions article. Now, after stealing the data, attackers attempted to extort $20 million worth of Bitcoin from Coinbase in exchange for not disclosing the breach, and Coinbase refused the demand. Instead, the company offered a $20 million reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of those responsible for the scheme. Scammers often masquerade as recognizable brands to inspire a false sense of trust in their victims out there. And here's like a little showcase of the American brands that phishing scammers impersonate the most. So scammers are always impersonating, IT, banking, e-commerce, telecommunications. So Apple, the scammers like using them, Microsoft, Facebook, Google, even PayPal, Visa, Bank of America, Chase, even like streaming platforms like Netflix, Twitter. These are all the platforms that scammers like to attack and try to pretend to be. Because again, when you see those big names out there, people go, oh, I know those guys. I can trust them. They're big. But that's why scammers try to impersonate them, just so they already have your trust when they start trying to fish for your information. But in 2024, Coinbase was the most impersonated cryptocurrency brand by scammers out there. So yeah, Coinbase was the most favorable. Now, Coinbase will reimburse any phishing attack victims. Coinbase said that it will reimburse users who were tricked into sending cryptocurrency to phishing scams with expected remediation and reimbursement expenses ranging from $180 million to $400 million. The crypto exchange disclosed the estimate in an 8K filing with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission on May 15th, noting that the expenses relate to voluntary customer reimbursements and other remediation efforts. Now, the attackers have been approaching the exchange's overseas customers, support agents, for months, aiming to bribe them in exchange for customer information, said Coinbase co-founder and CEO Brian Armstrong on a May 15th X post. So yeah, he placed there's a video, you can go on X and you can view this on Coinbase, or you can even view it on Brian Armstrong's Twitter account, which is right here at Brian_Armstrong. So if you want to hear him talk about it, that's where you can listen. But following the attack, the exchange will strengthen its internal data management process and relocate some of the customers to support operations to avoid similar incidents. Now, social engineering schemes are a growing concern for Coinbase users. Blockchain security analysis, XBT, estimated that users lost around $45 million to phishing schemes in the week leading up to May 7th. So, oof. Now, the blockchain security analysis previously claimed that social engineering scams cost Coinbase users over $300 million annually, and Cointelegraph reported on February 4th about it. So yeah, so Coinbase was attacked and they were bribed, and instead of paying them the 20 million, Brian Armstrong was just like, no, you know what, we are going to pay someone else 20 million who can find these criminals and we can put them to justice. So scammers, don't try to bribe the big guys, they're just going to go after you even more. So yeah, that's what's going on with Coinbase going on right now. I wonder if this had to do with the delay I saw a couple days ago, where it was like if you're trying to send Bitcoin, there was just like a little warning that popped up. It's like, hey, some delays are happening with receiving on-chain transactions. So the funds are fine. So I wonder if this had to do anything with that, but you never know. But that's it for the news today. Ooh, that was a long one. There was lots of news to cover, lots of stuff we needed to go over since I wasn't here yesterday. But yeah, so I hope you guys learned a lot from it. And yeah, just keep studying, keep learning, keep stacking those sats. And I will be back tomorrow. Hopefully I'm not too busy and get distracted again. And I'll be back tomorrow with some more crypto news for you. So take care. Peace. Love ya.
In a world where your data is constantly under attack, one company stands for your digital freedom. Introducing Calyx Solutions, your gateway to ultimate online privacy and secure cryptocurrency trading. Meet the Liberty Laptop. With its modified OS and advanced tracking prevention, it's your shield against surveillance. Access restricted areas, use recommended security software, and browse with confidence. Your digital footprint? Virtually non-existent. For the crypto pros, we present the Crypto Laptop. Pre-configured on premium hardware for secure trading. Optimized for your favorite wallets and exchanges, it's the fortress your digital assets deserve. Both laptops come with expert individual training and support. You're never alone in your journey to digital empowerment. At Calyx Solutions, we put you in control. No more worrying about data breaches or compromised transactions. Ready to join the revolution? Visit calyxsolutions.io and choose your perfect laptop today. Plus, become an affiliate and earn while sharing the power of digital freedom. Calyx Solutions. Unlock your digital freedom. Give us a call or text at 702-845-8276 or visit us directly at calyxsolutions.io.